As seen in Part 1, fishermen began operating around Utsuryo Island in the late 1890s. Nakai Yozaburo sent his employees to Takeshima in 1903 to hunt sea lions. In the following year, when Nakai traveled to Takeshima, he found there were many people catching sea lions, resulting in overhunting. Fearing the risk that sea lions might go extinct, Nakai considered it necessary to control the volume of sea lion hunting. As soon as the hunting season for 1904 ended, Nakai made a business and resource conservation plan and went to Tokyo to ask the government to lease Takeshima. First of all, Nakai contacted Fujita Kantaro, who was originally from the Oki Islands and was an official of the Fisheries Bureau, the Ministry of Agriculture and Commerce at the time. Nakai asked Fujita to refer him to a senior official and met Maki Naomasa, the head of the Fisheries Bureau. Maki told Nakai to confirm the attribution of Liankoto, a name of Takeshima at the time. Nakai then met with Kimotsuki Kaneyuki, the Director General of the Imperial Navy's Hydrographic Department. In fact, what Nakai didn't know was that Liankoto had been called Matsushima during the Edo period, and that Japan had established territorial sovereignty by the mid-17th century. Director General Kimotsuki said, "It is obvious that Takeshima should be incorporated into Japan's administrative entities, since there are no signs that Koreans have managed the islands, while the Japanese are already engaged in managing them." This encouraged Nakai, and he then submitted a request to 3 ministers concerned to lease Liankoto. The explanatory document attached to this request for lease explains the state of overhunting and its impact, as well as proposals for conserving resources and managing sea lion hunting. It came with a sketched map showing the locations of sea lions coming ashore, fishermen's housing, and where boats were anchored. Nakai immediately went to the Ministry of Home Affairs to provide an explanation. However, his request was nearly turned down by an official in the ministry because they thought the timing for incorporation was not favourable diplomatically when it comes to Liankoto, considering hostilities breaking out between Japan and Russia. Despite this, Nakai did not give up. He asked Kuwata Kumazo, a House of Peers member from Nakai's town, to write a letter and introduce him to Yamaza Enjiro, the Director General of the Political Affairs Bureau at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. After hearing Nakai's explanation, Director Yamaza stated that diplomatic affairs are of no concern to other ministries, and that the incorporation would be hugely beneficial from geographical, historical, and political perspectives. Encouraged by Yamaza's statement, Nakai went to the Ministry of Home Affairs with Kuwata, where he met with Inoue, a clerk in charge at the ministry, to inform him of the situation, finally obtaining the ministry's consent. On October 15, 1904, the Vice Minister for Home Affairs asked the Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs for an opinion on Nakai's request. In response to this, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded on October the 24th that it had no objection. The Ministry of Home Affairs asked Shimane Prefecture for its opinion. Shimane Prefecture, in turn, asked the Oki Islands Branch Office for its opinion on placing Liankoto under the jurisdiction of the Director of the Oki Islands Branch Office and naming the islands. The Oki Islands Branch Office accepted its own jurisdiction over the islands and considered a name for them. Although Utsuryo Island had been called Takeshima since ancient times, there was a time from the late Edo period to the early Meiji era when there were 2 Utsuryo Islands indicated on Western maps and nautical charts due to mistaken surveys. As it turned out, the actual Utsuryo Island of the 2 came to be called Matsushima. Therefore, the Oki Islands Branch Office responded on November the 30th that an appropriate name for the island in question is Takeshima, because 2 islands of Matsushima and Takeshima were originally present, of which Matsushima referred to Utsuryo Island, as clearly seen from nautical charts. Then, on January the 28th, 1905, a cabinet decision was made by the Japanese government to assign the name Takeshima de Liankoto and place it under the jurisdiction of the directors of the Oki Islands branch office of Shimane Prefecture. On February the 22nd, the governor of Shimane Prefecture announced to that effect across the prefecture and provided an instruction to the Oki Islands branch office. This is how Takeshima, which had been established as Japanese territory in the 17th century, was brought under the jurisdiction of Shimane Prefecture, thereby enabling Japan to clearly assert territorial sovereignty to the islands under modern international law. After this, Nakai and his associates engaged in hunting sea lions and other sea life with permission from Shimane Prefecture. Later in his life, Nakai served as mayor of Saigo, a town in Shimane Prefecture, from 1929 to 1932. He then passed away in 1934 at the age of 70. All these episodes are as shown in the resume Nakai submitted to Shimane Prefecture, the business overview for Takeshima Fishing and Hunting Limited Partnership Company, which he and his associates established, and works based on interviews with Nakai. Part 3 will cover the claims the government of the Republic of Korea has made concerning the incorporation of Takeshima into Shimane Prefecture.